Hello everyone, and welcome back to WolfQuest. And we are here with Flair and his mate Crystal, and do I have names on? I'm not sure if I have names on. I'm gonna try and make sure I do though. Here we go, so we keep track of her. And they are about to set out and look for a den, and I think they're gonna be heading up to the Saddle Meadows den, and I probably will go ahead and show the hunting this time because it's not going to be nearly as long as it has been for, say, wolves at Aspen Heights. And some of you guys have said you do like the hunting, and if it does get too long, I'll probably just trim it down and only show clips of it. But I will show a little bit of that, at least. And, we are going to go ahead and head up to the den now. It's right up this way. Now, Flair's specific challenge is that he cannot chase away eagles because he is very afraid of them. When he was a puppy, he was actually, his brother was taken right in front of him, and it really, really scared him. So he is very afraid of eagles and cannot actually chase them off. He can prevent them from landing by standing close enough to the puppies, and if one does land, he can grab the puppies and run away from it. But he can't actually chase them off. And he would have to rely into probably Crystal bumping into it. The other thing we should point out now is that we actually have Myra with us. Now, Myra is with us even though we cannot see her. And Myra is actually Flair's niece. Now, they had a side story together, and that has already taken place at this point. We're going to go ahead and make this our den. And that side story has already taken place. You can watch that in the Battles for the Eagle's Nest playlist. And we're going to go, we'll have to mark territory, but I want to get some hunting in first. So, if you guys have seen the Battle for the Eagle's Nest playthrough, or if you haven't seen it, you can always go ahead and watch that. And I would recommend doing that because there will be spoilers for that in this, and they are pretty interlinked. But unfortunately, because of the events in Battle for the Eagle's Nest, Myra will not be able to help Flair. She will still accompany him, but she can't chase away an eagle like we said she could the one time. And where is this elk herd? Oops, that's a map. Where is it? I don't even see the ravens. Oh, I hear them. There we are. There we are. Alright. Let's see. We'll go ahead and chase some of these elk, and we're just going to try and kill quite a few around the area of the den. Sorry if my voice is a little bit weird too. It's a lot earlier in the day for me, and so my voice is kind of clogged at the moment. Let's go ahead and get this elk, and we'll start taking her down. We just want to try and kill several elk near the den. Normally, depending on how long this hunting goes, I don't show a lot of it. And in this case, I may actually trim some of it down, depending on how long it takes. So we're playing on challenging, so we don't need a huge amount of elk, but having a good number will still be helpful. Let's see. Alright. I'm also just trying to, the reason we're walking with the elk right now is I'm trying to get her up as close as possible to the den. We want her to be quite close when she turns around, because the closer we are to the den, the more helpful it will be to have her nearby so we can eat. We can have food pretty close so we can go eat more easily. So I'll probably just go ahead and montage some of this hunting. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I made a little bit of a derp, and I had my mic off for this second half of the episode, so hey, you get to see me doing voiceover. Well, basically what I did was I just montaged a bunch of the hunting together, and now I'm basically just watching through the video and trying to talk over it, so this will be interesting. I've never actually done this before, so sorry about that. I had turned my mic off for the montage so you couldn't hear me talking in the background, and yeah, I forgot to turn it back on. So yeah, I made a little bit of a boo-boo there. Basically, we just went ahead and wanted to mark some territory before we had the puppies, because that was our current mission, and we did quite a bit of hunting, and then as you can see, I actually brought them past the little butte with the hunting and left the carcasses along the path to the little butte. Well, I did that because Flair's challenge is actually that he cannot chase off eagles, so because he can't chase off eagles, I thought it'd be advantageous to take advantage of the fact that Myra in her challenge was able to chase off the eagles at the little butte. So because Flair can't actually chase the eagles off himself, I thought it'd be best if we let him pass Little Butte, where he would at least have the 50-50% chance of the eagle dropping the puppy. So he will be able to take advantage of that if an eagle does attack them over there. If an eagle attacks over open ground, we're just going to have to rely on either staying close enough to the puppies to not be able to be attacked easily, or we may just have to try and carry them away if the eagle lands and hope Crystal will chase it off. So we're going ahead and marking the territory at this point, and just going to finish off that real fast, but I'm trying to remember what I even talked about too. This is really weird and very new experience for me, so sorry about that. The episode is probably not going to be up to its usual, not up to its usual parts. Also a little shorter because the hunting took a, when I montaged it all together, it took a lot less time than I thought it was going to. So, but anyway, we're just going to finish off marking the territory here because we don't want stranger wolves to appear. Now we are, and I do want to clarify, this is adding a little bit of story element to it, more so than, we do personify our wolves a little bit, and so we've had a big feud with the Druid pack, which is the southern pack in this, and that is definitely, a much more story element. Packs don't really have feuds. They are usually hostile to each other. They don't really tolerate each other's presence that much, but there's not really feuds between packs like we've had in this series. That's a lot of our story element going into play. But we do have in the series better relationship with the northern pack, which I believe is the Slough pack. I'm not 100% sure though. I'm pretty sure it's the Slough pack though. And we do have a better relationship with them than we do have with the Druid pack in the south. And Flair actually doesn't really know about a lot of what's been going on with the Druid pack because he was at the Aspen Heights Den, and now he's at the Canyon Cliffs, and he hasn't had to deal with the Druids really. He doesn't know about everything that's gone down in the meantime and how relationships with the Druids have been getting worse and worse and worse. And he certainly doesn't understand, apologies for the game freezing. Sometimes WolfQuest does that. If the window switches for whatever reason, the game automatically pauses, and so that's what the little bit of freezing you see is, and I do apologize for that. But the interesting thing here is, and oh, here we go with puppies. I'll talk about that afterwards. So, we have our puppies. I had to get my name stuff off, or up and everywhere, and we had all females. And I will, I'll let my game self catch up to where my voiceover self is right now, because that'll be interesting. But it is interesting because one of the puppies, they're all females, but one of them looks a lot like her mother, which is kind of an interesting thing because her mother has a very rare coat. You don't see it that commonly, and some of you guys may recognize it because it's not the first time we've seen this coat in game, and the implications of her having that coat kind of make you wonder as to possibly her heritage, where she might be from. And I don't think Flair really knows or cares about any of that. I mean, he's not really privy to what's been going on. He's kind of been off doing his own thing, doesn't really know what's been happening here in Slough Creek in the previous years with some of our side stories and such not. He's not really privy to all that. So he doesn't have the best idea of what is actually happening, and we ended up naming the lighter colored puppy Delta, and the three darker puppies. I have to put their names in the game still. I was scrolling through my huge list of names. The list of names is massive, mostly because I take all the names suggested in the stream, and I add them to the main game name list. after these streams. So we have Nutmeg as well. So the current name list is really, really massive, and it takes a long time for me to scroll through it. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that one of the puppies inherited her mother's very rare coat, and we also have Summer. And I kind of wonder what implications that could have, because if you'll recall, Crystal is not the first wolf we've encountered that has had that white coat with the red head. There is another wolf who has played quite a big role in many of our wolf stories. Some of you might recognize her. And we also have Violet. Sorry, it's hard to read her name because the preview I'm watching this in is very, very blurry. So we have Summer, Violet, we have Nutmeg, and then we have Delta, the lighter colored puppy. And you can actually see, if you look closely at Delta's coat, that it is specific to Crystal's, because Delta has a little bit of the red head as well that's already forming. And, oh yeah, and we had some lightning that struck pretty close here. There's a tree on fire, I'm pretty sure. I think it's that big tree over the den. But, you can actually see, if you look closely at Delta's coat and compare it to some of the other light-colored puppies we've had based off of light or white-colored mates, you can actually see Delta's coat is a little bit different. It does have that red head, whereas the other white puppies we've had have not. So that's kind of a cool little thing. And we're just going to run off and get some food for the puppies at this point. Again, I am truly sorry about the voiceover. It's probably not really up to par, and definitely not what you guys are used to, and I do apologize for that. That was my fault. I had my mic off. I forgot to turn it back on. But yes, so the fact that Crystal has that very unique white with the red head coat was kind of interesting to me. And, you know, I don't think Flair would think much of it, because he really hasn't been privy to a lot of the interactions that have gone on. But Crystal, I think, perhaps is trying to, you know, if we look at her heritage and perhaps who she could be related to, I feel like she might be trying to kind of escape that conflict, because we did find her in the Slough territory, which is not where we might expect she would be from, based off her looks and the looks of other wolves we know. So it seems like she may have been trying to escape a certain conflict that we have been having as well. And perhaps was not aware of Flair's origin. I don't think either of them really know or care about the other's origin, but it could have ripple effects throughout the series. You never know what may happen, and especially now that they have had Delta, a very interesting looking puppy who takes a lot after her mom and her mother's genetics. It is very possible that Delta, should she survive, could play a very large role in the future. I wonder what that could mean. Do you guys have any speculations? I would love to hear them. It's so interesting how the stories tend to develop in this game as well. They just tend to wrap up, or they tend to kind of develop themselves in very interesting ways. And I don't know what that music was about at that point, but I don't think anything actually came of it. I think it was probably just the bunny we had just killed, or another bunny appeared somewhere. So we're just making sure all the puppies are fed here. You can kind of see who might be the wanderers, because Nutmeg is already walking off. But yeah, so, and the others kind of did a little bit too, but we'll have to see who really ends up being the wanderer, because there goes Delta as well. Oh, that was where lightning hit the tree. I may have done that earlier, but lightning definitely hit the tree right here. And that was a little bit interesting. We have a lot of wolves that seem to almost get hit by lightning. So, and we have just finished the Train Your Pups mission, and we're going to be moving into the Defend the Den mission here momentarily. And here we go. And you can already hear the Predator music. Summer is wandering off. So it seems like we might have a lot of very adventurous puppies in this litter. And then you can hear again that music that was a little bit concerning. And up on the hill there is a coyote. So we decided to go after that coyote and take it out. And just make sure the puppies are safe. And Crystal was back with them as well. But I think she ended up following us, because I think if we turn around... Yeah, Crystal did. She checked to make sure the puppies were safe, and then she came back to check on us and make sure that that we were okay. But this is actually where we're going to wrap up the episode. So I will see you guys next time, hopefully not doing voiceover. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.